In this lesson, we'll identify the correct order for powering up the control room equipment and logging in and preparing the Mac workstation. The control room is made up of various pieces of equipment, so let's quickly identify them now. We have the Mac workstation with 2 displays, a third wall-mounted TV display for video output, audio monitors, Avid S3 control surface and dock, USB MIDI keyboard, a talkback unit, loudness monitor, and the studio rack, which consists of 2 PDUs or power distribution units, an audio interface, headphone amplifier, and a UK main socket PDU to power other devices such as hard drives. Firstly, if you're planning on using the Avid Dock and Avid Control app, connect the iPad from the Sound Studio kit to the lightning cable, and then carefully mount it onto the dock, starting at the right-hand side. Next, power up the studio equipment PDU in the studio rack. This powers up all of the studio gear except for the audio monitors, so things like the control surface, dock, audio interface, and headphone amp. If the rack equipment doesn't power up, it means that the last user has manually switched off each device, so if that's the case, just switch them back on. After that, check to see if the Mac is switched on. If it isn't, boot it up and then log in when it's ready. Next, power up the studio speakers PDU, and then you'll notice all of the audio monitors power up, indicated by a green light. Powering up in this order ensures that any hardware connected to the Mac will be recognised when you log in, as well as avoiding unnecessary power surges to the audio monitors. Finally, switch on the loudness monitor by holding down its right-hand button for about a second, and then use the Studio Kit's TV remote to power up the wall-mounted display, if you're using it. If you've got projects or media files that are stored on an external drive, for best performance, we recommend that you copy your data into the Mac's student temporary folder before you begin recording or editing. And then once you're done, save your work, close your projects, and then copy everything back to the drive. You can use the USB 3 extension lead within the rack to quickly connect any devices to the Mac. Additional Thunderbolt ports can also be found on the front of the Mac if needed. If you need to play audio from the internet or any other non-editing specific apps, then just check your audio devices within System Preferences. Go to the Sound Preferences and choose the Focusrite Thunderbolt option within the Outputs tab. The studio's power down sequence is pretty much the reverse of the boot up sequence. Start by disconnecting any external drives from the Mac and then turn off the audio monitors. Next, log out of the Mac, and once you see the username and password login boxes, turn off the studio equipment. Finally, disconnect the iPad and return it to the kit bag, along with the TV remote. In this lesson, we've identified how to power up and shut down the Sound Studio control room equipment. Next up, we'll take a look at how to set up the live room.